And we are talking about Game of Thrones House of the Dragon episode 5, We Light the Way. We are going to review the episode and then get into a spoiler breakdown of the episode starting now. Welcome to the Nerd Social. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Colin.
Hey, so Paul is not joining us this week, but she'll be back next week. So, the spoiler-free logline for this episode is Daemon visits his wife in the Vale. Viserys and Rhaenyra broker agreements with the Velaryons. Alicent seeks the truth about the princess. So, Colin, what do you think of this episode?
I think that they said a lot in that one or
They
two
said a lot, but they didn't
sentences
say
there.
anything really. Like they said all the things
Yeah,
that technically happened, but not how those things end up. So yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that was a lot of stuff. I actually just watched it maybe about an hour ago. I was very busy on Sunday night, but it was just yeah, a lot of stuff happened in this one, and I was really, as I said before from last week, in comparison to the Rings of Power, this story is just so compelling and just like there's so much stuff there to kind of break down that I just am even interested in what the minor characters are doing. And there are a couple of minor characters that appear in this episode, and you're like, I wonder what's going to happen there and there and there and there. So I just find it really thrilling in that way, and not to know what to expect with every one of these characters, and also there is going to be I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but there is going to be another time jump. So just seeing these characters are going to be it's very interesting, and kind of seeing where the next iteration of characters come in would be, yeah, that would be very compelling as well. So I think that I'm going to be at the edge of my seat, kind of toward the end of the season. I think there's 8 episodes. Is it, Nathan? 8 episodes,
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
So
I believe
we
so.
have,
Eight episodes. Yeah,
yeah. So there'll be 3 more episodes left. But yeah, this one was really big, and I think that there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, overall, I was just thrilled.
yeah. I like this episode. I think I probably like it better than last week. I think I gave last week
Hmm.
a 6.5, and there's a lot that actually happens in this episode. So I probably give this a
Yes.
7, a 7.5, or even I don't know if I give it an 8, but I give it a 7.5. It's a lot. We
Yeah.
get without spoiling anything, we get a wedding, and if you're Game of Thrones fans, weddings are interesting in the Game of Thrones universe. Um, so we get a wedding in this episode. Um, got a lot of development. Some really interesting things happen to all those people that are in this the spoiler free summary of the episode. Some major developments with Daemon, some major developments with Rhaenyra. Even Viserys has some major developments, and also Alicent. So they set the table well for the giant time jump when they're going to swap out the actresses. I think a lot of the young actors are going to be gone next week. Even some actors that only showed up this week. Some of the young actors one of the young actors that only showed up this week is going to be gone next week. Is going to be replaced by someone else. So we'll see how the show goes. I mean, that there has been some chatter about whether or not people will be annoyed with the swap out of Rhaenyra. But we'll see, because people are really
Mm.
like that actress. Um, I'm skip.
Millie, I don't remember her last
No,
name.
his name is something Cox.
Yeah,
Uh,
Millie something. Millie.
Millie Millie Alcock.
Yeah.
So we shall see whether or not the her replacement as magnetic.
Hmm.
So we'll
Yeah.
it's but I'm looking forward to next week. Especially, so we got a little bit of a preview at the end of this episode. So they're definitely, like I said, you see the progression of those trajectories that start out on this episode. I think the time jump is going to be more than 10 years, or at least 10 years in the next episode. So yeah.
Right. The New York Times actually just did an article about the two young actresses that played Rhaenyra and Alicent. So it was really interesting. It's posted. I shared it on our Facebook page. But it's just interesting to kind of see, kind of like the more of the inside the actors' heads about where they're at and where their reactions are and all of that. It's just really, really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Any other thoughts before we jump into the breakdown?
No, let's just get right into it.
All right. So, before we do that, if you're enjoying the conversation, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Lets us create more content like this for you. We actually have 4 live streams scheduled this week, and that's not all the content we have, because we actually are doing other reviews that are not live streams. So we're going to review She-Hulk on Thursday and/or on Wednesday, and Rings of Power on Friday. So subscribe so you don't miss any of that. All right, spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead. See, this is what happens when you're live. Spoilers ahead. All right, so what do you want to get into? I mean, there's a lot of big developments here, but even at the very beginning, so we can actually start at the beginning.
Yeah, let's just start at the beginning. Yeah, let's just start with Daemon here. I mean, we finally see his wife. Finally.
Yeah, so we see Lady Royce. Rhea Royce is her last name. So we say Lady Royce, and she's so interesting that I would have liked to see more of her, but. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like she seems like a formidable woman that I don't know. He might another man would be happy to be married to. Like she seems like a really cool person, but yeah, she doesn't last past this scene. We see that she's
it's kind of tragic, It's like they kind of built her up, and then basically they said, "Oh yeah, we've been talking about her for the whole 4 or 5, 4 episodes so far, and how Daemon's kind of detested her." And this is it's kind of like the same thing. Like they both are detesting each other. It's kind of like, we don't really mind each other that much. And then you kind of see that type of seething hatred toward each other. Yeah, it was really, really interesting in that regard.
Yeah, and you can see also that like what he said about her is ridiculous. Like it's like, and it got back to her about like the sheep being more attractive, because she says she spits it back at him, but she seems awesome. It's apparently only part of his family is his type, because I think that she would like I said, be attractive to lots of different men for lots of reasons besides her looks. But like I don't know, the horse falls on her. She's basically paralyzed, and he's about to walk away, but she makes a joke about him being impotent or being impotent, and he comes back and I guess smashes her head in with a rock.
But
this is him testing to see if she can feel anything.
It's funny because Daemon was such an understanding type of character at the beginning of the first 2 episodes. You kind of see his perspective and his worldview. Now he's just like plain evil. He's just like whatever. He doesn't care anymore.
I don't know. It seems like it's unclear what he was going to do. Like he was sent back to the Vale, and he doesn't say anything. That entire scene, you notice he doesn't say a word. He does things like she assumes that he's going to attack her, and she pulls her bow. Then the horse jumps up, and he kind of pushes it a little bit, and it falls on her. but it's unclear whether or not his intention was to kill her. Even up to when she got paralyzed and he checked to see if she's paralyzed, he stepped on her arm. He could have. I mean, I guess that his thought was that no one will come and find her. That she'll die of exposure. But like, someone could have someone could have stumbled upon her. So I don't know if he actually meant to kill her, or just leave her for dead. But like he definitely decided to kill her after she made fun of him. His ability to, as you said last week, perform. So yeah. So yeah, he's not he's a complicated character. He's not. I don't think he ever came off as good. I don't think anyone in this show is good. Even Alicent loses her innocence in this episode.
Yeah, she kind of went off the other end. But I mean, but I think that for her, we'll get to it. But I think for her is pretty justifiable. I mean, she was lied to. It's like, she was. Swear on my mother's grave that I didn't lie to you. It's like, come on,
Well, come on now. Technically, she did not lie to her about what she said. She said that she was not with Daemon, and we've already said that Daemon has some issues with impotence, which we've seen in multiple scenes actually, not just this scene. He actually had issues with the same performance issues in the first episode with his So
mistress.
So I think that what Lady Royce was actually alluding to was something that actually happened with them. Like obviously he was there in the Vale and he tried to, but he's not attracted to her. He's attracted to family members only, apparently. So I don't know.
Well, that might not be true because we kind of get a little bit of hints, later on. But it's kind of
is technically a family member. That is technically a family member.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well.
You are correct. Oh my gosh, that is
he likes that white hair. So
probably, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So that cousin is technically a family member.
So twice removed. Twice removed, though. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't. I'd have to look at a genealogy chart. Like they're cousins, but like I don't know if it would be once removed, but actually because she would be in the same generation as Alicent and Rhaenyra.
Oh.
So it's only once removed. So cousins once removed.
Wait! But I thought it was uncle though. But he was.
I don't think it would be. I don't think it's uncle because Viserys and her mother Ray I forget what her name is. Viserys and
Rhaenyra?
No, not what is it's Rhaenyra? Is it Rhaenyra? Like the queen, the one that was supposed to be queen.
I know
the one that was supposed to be queen.
I know who you're talking about.
Anyway,
yeah,
those are they're cousins. So if they're cousins, his brother would also be cousin. So he's not her uncle. He's her cousin, just once removed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we jump to the Targaryen ship here going to Driftwood. And like his cousin actually remarks about this later, like him coming to her, him coming to them to ask for their son is undignified for a king. Like he shouldn't have he should have made him come to him. But like Lord Velaryon is like pushing his strength, like pushing the fact that he has a navy, pushing like he's not on the council anymore. He's right. I guess maybe he'll show up again after the children are married. I don't know. But anyway, they're sailing to Driftmark, and Viserys is continuously getting sicker and sicker until we see him later on. until we see him later on
Yeah.
collapse at the
Do
end.
you think that this is seasickness or just sickness
No.
in
I think
general?
it's just sickness. Like he's just unwell. Like
Okay.
I think that I think you can see that Rhaenyra is also a little off kilter. That's why Kristen Cole helps her. But like he's already he got on the ship sick. So the ship is like just like exacerbating all the sickness that he has, because I mean later on
Right.
we see his nose bleeding during the dinner, and then during the wedding
Yeah.
he fully
Yeah.
collapses. Um,
Right.
so yeah, he Lord Valerian doesn't even meet them here. This exchange between her and her father also very good. Like
Yeah.
I think you said that he's a schemer, but I think he might actually have the realm in mind here. He definitely cares about his daughter because he's afraid for her.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say that he's afraid for her, but the way that he's acting, it's obvious that he's afraid for her. He loves
Mm.
her and he embraces her here, and he says, you know what, you need to smarten up. Uh, Rhaenyra is going to be forced to kill your children.
Yeah.
And he's right. Like to secure her claim, and you better either train the child or cleave to Rhaenyra and hope that she'll be merciful. So
Yeah.
and I think at this point she doesn't know what to do until she
Mm-hmm.
gets the information that she gets from Kristen Cole later on in the episode. So
Right. Right.
the episode that,
This is her.
sorry, go
This
ahead.
is her grow up moment. This is her grow up moment. This is Alice's grow up moment because we've seen so far, she was best friends with Rhaenyra, and then kind of like it started to kind of deteriorate when her father, when Viserys married her, and then they had, she had her heir, she had the heirs. So it's kind of like now it's kind of like for Otto to say it's time to grow up. You're in this mess now, so it's time to kind of like be your own person.
Right.
And there's no one to save you. There's no one to. You're all alone,
Be your
and
own
you're gonna
person,
have to figure it.
but
Yeah.
also as Paula was saying last week and the week before, protect your children. You need to protect.
Yeah, that's true.
You're their mother, and that's your job. You need to protect your children.
Mm,
So yeah.
yeah.
So Lenore and I forget what her name is, the daughter, come out and meet them, but Lord Corlys does not. Um,
This is a different actress. This is a different actress. This is they aged her up,
yeah,
right?
she was 12 before. So
Right.
I mean,
Right.
like
Right.
it's like I don't know how many years, 5 years. Like they couldn't have had the same 12-year-old player.
Yeah.
But this actress is only going to show up in this episode, and then they're going to age her up again. And so this character is going to be played with three different women, three different well, three different people. Um, so yeah, he's snubbing him by not arriving there, and this is So Strong's the new hand's son, who starts to whisper in her ear.
This is. Oh, I didn't even know who that guy was. I was like, who is this guy? It's
Yeah,
like this guy
this
is
is
intriguing. He's now the new schemer. It's
yeah,
like,
he's the new
dang.
schemer. So
Yeah.
he's Sir Strong's he's yeah, is it Sir Strong? The new yeah Sir
The new hand.
the new
The new
hand.
hand. Right.
This is one of his sons. He's
Oh.
you can see he's crippled, and his brother is the one who saves Rhaenyra at the end when Sir Strong said
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's the beginning of something, by the way. That's gonna
Oh yes.
so yeah. Um,
They're probably gonna age him up too. Probably. They're probably gonna have a
I don't
different actor
know.
playing him, right?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Mm.
They. I don't think they're gonna age. I don't think they're gonna change this guy. I think this is the same guy, because I think they're all supposed to be a little bit older. Like they're all supposed to be adults.
Mm.
These are young women. The only reason that she's queen is because they start sleeping with young women as soon as they turn 14 or whatever. Apparently,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think this guy is probably going to be played by the same actor, and so is his brother. I think Kristen Cole is probably going to be played by the same actor also. So I think everyone is an adult except for that.
Yeah.
Except for them, they're supposed to be like very young women. Like they started at 15 and then they went up to 18, and then they're going to do a big time jump. So they're gonna yeah. So yeah, he whispers in her ear, tells her about the tea. That starts her wheels turning, because he knew that was going to start her wheels turning. This conversation that he has with Lord Valerian is interesting, and you see it's a really great acting in this scene. Like he comes and he's sitting on his throne. He comes to the king, and he's standing right next in front of him, and there's a little bit of hesitation before he kneels. He's just showing that he has strength or over the king, or the king had to come to him.
And also he's kind of like kneeing a little bit because he got kicked out of the council. His daughter was.
I don't think he got kicked. I think he just left the council. I don't think he got kicked. I think he left the council before he started. He started that war. He left the council, because the king wasn't doing anything.
But also his daughter was rejected.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think it was a combination of things. Like his daughter was rejected. I think after that meeting when he said he was going to marry Alicent Hightower, he decided that he wasn't going to be on that council anymore, and he was going to go to war. So yeah, I think that's what happened.
But also he has an alliance now with Daemon from the last episode, right?
He does
some sort of like arrangement.
Sort of like he I mean, he gave.
They didn't really flesh that out yet.
They I don't know if the arrangement still is like in perpetuity, or is it just, or if it was just for the duration of that war. It's unclear if they'll continue to have a bit of an alliance. At this point, I think that Daemon, he's not going to choose Daemon over his son, and Daemon still wants to be king. So it's not like he's gonna, he's not going to choose Daemon over his son. So to whatever alliance they might have been just for that war, so that he could get his ships back to shipping without being accosted by the crab feeder. So this back and forth is interesting because he wants the children to be named Velaryon, and they come to an arrangement where they're going to be named Velaryon until they assume the throne. So I think that there was a very similar conversation with Prince Philip. He wanted his children to have his name as opposed to Windsor, which is the royal name. But he lost that he lost that battle, and all the children are named Windsor. So it's interesting. Because he married a queen, and the queen was in charge, but no, all the children are have the last name Windsor. Anyway, so I think that's what they were trying to allude to here. This is a good compromise. This is a good compromise, and also it shows a little bit of his weakness, but it also shows that he's not going to give up like the Targaryen dynasty. Because he decided to have Rhaenyra be the heir. So so that's what he'll decree, and we'll see if that actually happens. I think they all think that he's going to die any minute now, so they can force the issue and say, well, that's what he wanted to do, but he's dead now. We'll see. Although she'll be alive, and maybe she'll want to maintain the Targaryen dynasty as well. So we'll see. And she'll be queen. So, so this is interesting. They agree to terms, and the conversation that the young people have is also interesting because apparently Lenore has different appetites, as she says. And they both have appetites that they need to satiate, and and they agree to continue to satiate their appetites as they see fit, basically. So that's it's a very
Translation: open relationship. Open relationship.
yeah, exactly. So
Open marriage.
open marriage,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a very adult conversation to have. Like these, like we're gonna do what we need to do for our family, but we
Yeah.
have needs outside of what are our duties to our family. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
I mean, marriage is a political proposition. I mean, that's kind of what
that's what Daemon taught her. That's what Daemon taught her, and also what she throws back at Daemon later on. Like it's a lot of Daemon's words are being thrown back at him during this episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, they come to an arrangement, which is nice because and they also apparently already know each other because they are cousins, so they probably played a lot together or whatever when they were children. So yeah.
I find this scene interesting when when they were talking about how you're putting Rhaenyra at risk, but also at the fact that that his mom knows what's going on, his dad knows what's going on, but then his dad's kind of like
Denial.
being very denial and
He's
stuff
in
like
denial.
that. He's like he's gonna grow out of it. It's
Yeah.
like, wow. It's like, you really think he's gonna grow out of it? Really?
Yeah.
Just try to scare the gay away from him. Just like, come on.
I don't know. I feel like the way that they wrote him and the way that he performs this role is like he's disappointed, or he doesn't he wants to, he's in denial, but he's not virulent about it. Like he
Right.
he doesn't hate him or whatever. He still loves his son. He just doesn't want him to be gay, but like he's not like trying to like threaten him or kill or
Right.
he knows that he's in a relationship with this guy Joffrey, I assume. And he just assumes that he'll just get over it. It's a phase. So I mean,
Okay.
I feel like that, of course, it could be damaging, of course. But like, if you have the option of like that, and your parents actually trying to harm you, which is something that actually still happens today.
Right.
There's one is better than the other, and at least the person who's like in denial, eventually maybe they will come to reality. And there's no violence in that situation. So
Right.
yeah. So
I mean, I just found that whole dialogue, that whole exchange, very interesting. Kind of, again, very relevant to our modern days, and also even the conversation that Rhaenyra and Rhaenyra had before. I mean, that's a conversation that people have as well. It does exist. It's not like oh, it's a secret anymore. It's like, I mean, people
people have open relationships. And people also still marry. And people marry very much for convenience and for not necessarily political. They marry for convenience. So they marry for family alliances. People actually still do that. That's what what a marriages were originally for. And then they have open relationships. So.
We can say about a former president that did that, and a former presidential candidate that did that probably.
Yeah.
But that's another debate.
Yeah. So, anyway, this conversation is also interesting. He seems to be bummed, but Joffrey, this guy's name is Joffrey, which might have been a clue for where he's going to end up, or how he's going to end up, but he. So Joffrey's telling him that this is great. You're going to be king consort, and I can be your protector. Yeah, doesn't work out that well for anyone.
No, not really. Unfortunate.
So this goes back to what I was talking about last week. So like, he was taken advantage of by her. Like he was forced into having sex with her. She used her power to do it, and now he feels shame. He's trying to fix it by like marrying her. He thinks that hopefully he'll get his honor back, but like like she completely screwed him, which also, like I said last week, changed her from less of an innocent character and more of a gray character, and her pushing
Yep.
making him do this, um, and like she's like, yeah, and he's like, he's talking about like going away or running away with each other, and she's like, I'm not giving up the throne for you. She doesn't say it like that, but she's like,
That is just downright ice cold. It was very icy, and I was like, damn, this guy lost everything because of her.
yeah.
Just one bad decision that he made, that he was forced to do.
It's not even it wasn't
will.
even really a decision. Like I said, it's not much of a
Yeah.
decision when someone has power over you, and if you don't
That's
do what they
true.
say, there can be consequences. So like,
That's true.
so yeah, she put him in a terrible position, and then she's disposing of him, or as he says, I can just be your whore, is what he says to him.
Yeah, pretty much.
And which he has no interest in being. So,
But before then, I mean, he did have a pretty nice proposal. If I don't know. I mean, it just depends on the
I
person.
don't know.
I guess it's like, let's run away and like all your
sure. If she
run away
actually
from
felt
it.
like that, I don't. She didn't have those kind of feelings for him.
I don't think. No, of course not. But
she went from being with Daemon, and Daemon not being able to perform, and then running to him after that. She never had any kind of deep feelings for him. She was never going to run away with him. It doesn't really matter how great the proposal is. She's not interested in him that deeply. She's interested in the stuff that they do, but she's not like smitten with him or anything. So that proposal was never going to go, even if she did love him. I mean, like if even if she did love him, I don't think that she would have loved him more than the crown or the duty that she said, or the duty that she thinks that she has, she has. She, even though it seems like she doesn't pay attention, or when the maesters were like teaching her in the first episode, she is very bought into the Targaryen dynasty, and she's like, Aegon,
yeah, that's true.
Conquered the realms and put on a path. Like she's definitely team Targaryen, because that's what she's been taught since she was a child. She thinks she thinks that it's her destiny, for Targaryens to reign. So she does I think it's bigger than her, or this side thing that she's doing with him. So yeah. His brain breaks after this.
Yeah, pretty much. And also, going back to what you're saying, is that she can ride a dragon too. So it's like, it's kind of hard to give that up, riding.
Yeah, it's not. She's not putting. I mean, sure. Also, she would be queen. like riding a dragon. She can ride a dragon. She can be queen. She's not gonna give that stuff up for this dude. Maybe if she loved him, but even then, it's a lot to give up. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, his brain breaks, and that happens to be when they get back, and Alicent calls him, and I think that she was trying to get a confirmation that Daemon was the guy, and she gets even more information than she was expecting.
Oh yeah. I mean, but can you blame Criston for doing that? Like, can you blame him? No, he's already like.
He does.
Like,
yeah, he thinks he's sullied. He's sullied.
Okay, I'm just going to pour it out all on you.
Yeah, he thinks he's sullied because he's hoping to die because he has no honor anymore in his mind.
Right.
So yeah, he spills a lot of information, and this is you. You say the moment with Otto was where she changed. This is where she really changed. Like this, she started. She started to change with the conversation with. She started to change with the conversation with Otto, and changed a little bit more with the conversation with what's his name? The Strong. I forget what his name is. Not Lord Strong. The other guy.
Oh, the son.
The son. Yeah,
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 strong son. Yeah.
yeah. Strong
Yeah,
son.
yeah,
Um,
kind of the wheels are turning on her, but I think this is where she really kind of went off the deep end. It's like,
yeah,
okay, this
yeah.
no, okay,
So
I give up now. I'm just gonna go.
she's
I'm just
like,
gonna do me. I'm just gonna do me from now on.
yeah,
Screw everybody else.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she was looking out for both of them. Like she was looking out for the king, and she was looking out for her.
Mm,
Because she did try to counsel the king wisely and try to help him. Um,
right.
but she finds out that the king sent the tea um to um
To
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra. Yeah.
So at a certain on a certain level, she knows that he thinks that Rhaenyra did something, but he still fired her father. So that's what's going on in her head, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like now she doesn't care about either one of them. Is what's going on now. So like, yeah. So I forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode, the the title of the episode, "We Light the Way," is the house motto of Hightower, and it goes and it
Mm,
basically is an allusion to her very green dress, which apparently is a signal that Hightowers are going to war, which we see her wearing later on in the episode.
oh yeah,
Um,
that was that's probably gonna be an iconic scene.
yeah,
Like if you're talking about the whole season,
yeah,
that's probably gonna be that's like the turning point
yeah,
of everything.
yeah.
Like we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, Strong and Viserys have this conversation about his legacy, and he doesn't think he'll be remembered because he hasn't had any great victories or defeats. And Strong doesn't really even say anything here. He's like, "Yeah,
Well,
it's better not to have been tested because you don't know how you would have acted." He's like, I guess so." Um,
but I think he made a good point there. It's like I think he made also another point about peacetime.
I think he
And like
makes
it's
a
like
good.
yeah.
I think he makes a good point for
Mm.
a reasonable person. I don't know if it's the best thing to say uh, if you're trying to ingratiate yourself to the king. I guess he
Well,
already
he's
has
just
the
being honest.
job, but whatever.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's just being honest, I guess.
yeah. Um, even Viserys says like another man would have said, you would have raised to the occasion like Aegon himself. It's like, anyway, it's just
And
funny.
he wouldn't know if Aegon, suffered through things and like went through tragedies. It's
I
all like
mean,
just like they say, it's all glorified in songs. So it's like why did
sure,
the
but
legends are made by that. So
things actually
he
happened though.
doesn't
There
really
were
know.
things actually happened, right? Though there were actual battles. There were actual. Whereas he knows that
True.
in his life there were no battles. There were no real big anything. Um. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Get
Um.
over it, Viserys. It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So this dinner is there's the
Hey,
Lannister.
Lannister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
The
dinner is
a-hole.
interesting. For a couple.
I like the exchange where she came back and just said like, "Oh, it's always a pleasure to meet you." It's just like a highbrow way of saying screw yourself.
Yeah.
I found that fun, amusing as heck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And this is Rhea Royce's cousin, who we saw at the very,
Mm.
very beginning of the episode, who is pretty certain that that Daemon killed his cousin. He like pushes someone aside here. You notice that? Like people were
Yeah,
there
he
was a
did.
lot there was a line, and he was like he just wanted to make himself known here. Um,
Mm.
so I don't know if he's going to show up. I don't know. Uh, Damon does say that he's going to go and claim Runestone, which
Right.
might be why he killed her in the first place, or but we shall see. I think we'll probably see him later on in the season because I don't think that he's going to give up on his assertion that Damon killed her. So we'll see. But what he said seemed to what Damon said to him about claiming Runestone seemed to shut him up. Um,
Right.
So
Oh yeah, definitely. He
yeah,
was, you can see like he's like, oh right, carry
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. So it's the Velaryons make an excellent entrance here. There's a lot of them. There's a very very strong
Yeah,
back of them. Um,
a
so I mean,
lot of them survived the war, I guess.
all this is very impressive,
Yeah,
and things seem to be going well until Daemon shows up.
of course. He's just
Damon
like
who he
strolling.
Damon
He's
who
like
he told
ah.
Damon who he told to go away. He's like, oh, I guess again, Viserys is such a weak king. Like he could tell him he could have removed him, but I don't know. Like I don't know what was going through his head. Maybe he's like, oh, his wife just died. I'll let him. I'll let him stay. This is technically a family wedding, but he should have just made him go, made him go away. I don't know. He didn't. He doesn't cause. He doesn't
Maybe
cause
also,
this issue.
yeah.
Sorry. What'd you say?
Maybe he just also does not want the whole kingdom to kind of see that, that private moment when he beat him up. It's like what, because it was kind of a private moment where he beat him up.
But
So it's
he
like,
did exile him. Like he did tell him to go to
okay.
the Vale. Like he told him to go to the Vale. Like and he decided to show up anyway. Um, he gets his speech is interrupted twice. Actually, this is only the first time it's interrupted. Then it's interrupted again by Alicent making her magnificent entrance in the green, in the green dress, in the emerald dress. So.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
her,
there was a lot of
in
talk
a
about
very
that.
in a very slow walk to the table.
And
It
he's
was
like,
good.
what the heck?
Yeah,
It's like, for that.
yeah,
In his mind, he's like, oh, I am screwed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, he knows the significance of green, and some other people also know the significance of green. Oh, the way that um she performs these lines to her, they're so icy and like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's just like knives are out now. I'm coming for you. um
Yeah.
it was
I
great.
mean, again, she has a right to do that. She lied to her directly, to her face, to
Again,
her face.
I understand what you're
Yes.
saying. She didn't technically lie to her about the thing that she was asking about.
She
Also,
lied.
as I said last week, as I said about the episode last week, Alicent is a very by the books person. She would not have
Yes, she is.
understood the truth from Rhaenyra if Rhaenyra told her. Like she would have freaked out. So I think she was lying to spare her. I think the damage is done. I don't think they're friends anymore.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I understand why she lied to her. I don't think it was out of any kind of like maliciousness. It's just like it was out of understanding who her friend is, or who her friend has always been, and understanding that her wilder way was never something that her friend understood. Like in the first scene of the entire show, she's flying a dragon. She lands the dragon, and she says to Alicent, "We can go out with me sometime." And she's like, "No." That like they're completely different people. I understand that they're like they're maidens in the same court, but like they're completely kind of different people. She wouldn't have understood, which is why she lied to her. But she did lie to her, and I feel like she doesn't. They're never going to be in the same room. They're trying to hash it out and try to say. She's never going to say, "Oh, why did you lie to me?" She just turned on her because she doesn't trust her anymore. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And that was a big shift from it was at the beginning of the episode.
yeah,
Beginning of the last week's episode where they were like kind of reconciling.
yeah. They were starting. They
Okay.
were starting to get back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like mend the fences, but nope, kind of like
yeah,
just pull the rug right under us.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we jump ahead here. There was get a bit of a dance here. This guy Joffrey kind of overplayed his hand as well. He's like, "Oh, we have something on you. You have something on us." and like he doesn't know that Criston Cole has a screw loose. Like he's already feeling sullied and feeling dishonored. Like it was not
Not the right.
he was not the right person to say that to.
Yeah.
It was not the right.
Yeah, but I was just very curious as to why the heck he did that. Out of arrogance? Was it out of just arrogance, or just like?
No, he was. I think he. I don't think it was arrogance. I think it was trying. I think he. I think it was out of. I think it was out of a little bit of trying to find an ally for the future, right? Like he was trying to say, okay, your situation is very similar to mine, so let's look after these two, right, together. I think that was on one level. On another level, he was like he was trying to say, I know that Rhaenyra knows our secret, but I know your secret as well. So he was also, it was a little bit of a threat as well. So he was basically saying, let's protect them, but also I'm going to protect him. My priority is going to be protecting him because he's my priority. So I have this on you. So like we have like mutually assured destruction. So like, but yeah, he was the wrong person to say that to because he doesn't. He's all about honor and stuff like that. He doesn't play the Game of Thrones sort of stuff, like the subterfuge kind of games. Everything is like kind of fairy tale to him, and someone knowing his secret, the fact that he was dishonored himself, made him snap. so
That makes more sense now.
Yeah. So that's how I understood the scene. Yeah, so this is when he comes to him and suggests that he killed his wife. So, like I said, I think they were going to see more of that later on. And also the king also suspects now that he killed his wife. So, yeah. And we see him flirting with her. And we also see in the next couple scenes at the end of the episode, when they jump, he eventually marries her. And starts having kids with her. So if Rhaenyra is young, she's even younger. Because at this point, she's about probably 15 or 17. Yeah. Not 17. She's probably, if Rhaenyra is 18, Rhaenyra was 3 years.
12 when
she was
they were having the conversation with the.
She was 12 when Rhaenyra was 15, right?
Yeah.
So she's 3 years. She's 3 years younger than Rhaenyra. So which would make her 15.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah. So she's 15 now. And I guess he marries her. So yeah, this is where he points out Criston Cole. He goes and talks to him. Which was a big mistake. This conversation was a big mistake.
Just as bad as that guy who insulted that boy last week. It was like, that's why I kind of thought it was arrogance, because it's like,
no. I think he was just trying. I think he was. Yeah, it was an arrogance. I think he misread the situation, misread who he was speaking to. Yeah, and this is where she was like, if you still want me, take me as your wife. Don't you have a sword to cut through all these people? She's basically taunting him, which is interesting. Yeah, and then this is where the brawl happens, and he starts beating the crap out of Joffrey here.
Basically, his whole face is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, which is and then Laenor is like, Laenor is inconsolable because his lover is like not just dead, like mutilated. It's
yeah.
And then the parents force him into this marriage, and he can't even pretend kiss her. He's crying through his entire wedding here. It's terrible. I guess it lives up to Game of Thrones wedding. I guess less people die, but it's still tragic. So Yeah.
Scarred for life
And then
there.
Cole was about to kill himself, and then Alicent stops him. So I
Hmm.
guess she has a new ally in him, and I guess we'll see
Right.
um, over the next couple weeks how she'll use that ally, because now he doesn't feel any sort of attachment, I don't think, anymore to Rhaenyra, because she
No.
she
Like,
dishonored him and then kind of threw him away, or at most said that, oh, you can continue being my whore, as he said. um
yeah.
so I think going forward, he's gonna be Alicent's man, even though he's gonna be assigned to Rhaenyra. Like, he's gonna be her inside man, telling her things about what's going on. Um, so yeah, I thought so. In here, I guess this is Aegon, aged up to a young man, but this is Rhaenyra's child, which does not have white hair. So I thought that it was Criston Cole's child, but I don't. I think it's actually Strong's child. You know, the guy who saved her. I think that this is Strong's child,
Uh-huh.
and she shouldn't be having
You
Strong's
mean the
child.
oldest son?
Yeah, this
The
is her
oldest
son.
son.
This is
Yeah.
her son here.
No, no,
Uh,
but I'm talking about she had a son. She had a son with the oldest son of the hand, the king.
what are you talking about?
So you're saying that this is Strong and Rhaenyra's son, you're right?
Yes.
So which Strong are you talking about? You're talking about the crippled guy or
No, no,
the
no.
guy
The
who
guy who
killed her?
saved her, like I said.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And is the guy who saved her, is he related to
That's his son.
he's related
That's the
huh?
hand's son. That's his hand's
Okay, okay.
older son. That is
Right,
Sir.
that's what I'm saying.
That's
That's what I'm
Sir
saying.
Gerald Royce. Yeah, that's Sir Gerald Royce, I believe. Is
Got it.
who that is. So I guess like I said earlier, her being saved, um, out of that situation was the beginning of something between the two of them. So
Mm,
yeah,
got it.
um, yeah, she's obviously not having children from Leonor, because otherwise they would have white hair. Like, they both
That
have
is
white.
true, but
They both
also,
have. They both have white.
yeah.
They both have white hair. All their children would be white. Have white hair. It's very possible that a child of his would come out looking white, because his mother is white. That sometimes happens,
Mm, mhm.
but not the not the brown hair. Um, because
Yeah.
that's not anywhere in his gene pool. That's not anywhere in her gene pool. So
But I would even surmise that Laner can't even do anything with her because I mean if he's like attracted to men, I
I
don't think he
mean,
can do anything.
I
Maybe
don't
he
know.
can,
I,
maybe he
I don't
can't.
think
I don't know.
that's not necessarily how that works. I feel like that's only that only works that way for Daemon. Most people can get aroused if they need to, even in situations where they don't want, even in situations where they're not necessarily attracted to a person, just to get the duty done, because that's what they agreed to just to do their duty. It's not like he's going to be with her on regular basis. They just need to do it enough so that she gets pregnant.
Got it.
So, like, I feel like they could do that if she wanted to, and if they actually worked at it, but apparently they are not, because these children these children do not look like him. So yeah. I don't know if this baby that she's holding looks like him, but that first child does not look like him. So I guess we will see. Actually, and Alicent even comments on this later on. She in the clip, she says, once might be a mistake, but three times, yeah. So
Wow.
we shall see next week. It'll be interesting how things develop, because that adds an extra wrinkle to the whole situation, because there was already going to be a fight, and now Alicent can claim that her children or her heirs are illegitimate, because they're not Velaryons. Um,
Mm,
they're basically bastards. So yeah, and at this point, you know that the knives are out with Alicent, so she'll definitely use that information to advance her son to the throne. It should be interesting next week. The jump should be interesting.
Like I said, this really opened up a lot more things than the previous 4 episodes. I mean, it's definitely a turning point, and hopefully it gets better as we get to a hopefully a satisfying conclusion to the season.
Yeah,
and they already renewed the 2nd season, so I don't.
They did.
I don't
okay.
know when that's going to come out, but yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. All right. So that is what we think, but we are interested to hear what you guys think. So comment down below, like and subscribe for more content like this. Like we said, we have live streams pretty much every day this week, except for tomorrow. And we will see you next week. All right, guys. Bye. Thanks.